Hi everyone. Apologies firstly for the issues we had earlier. I attempted to do this live and obviously with interaction from the service departments, but there was a few issues with microphones and things, so there was a massive feedback and all sorts of issues, so massive apologies for that. The idea is obviously I just very briefly talk you through the new changes with GDPR and how it relates to the service department. And then obviously if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to drop me an email or even ring me. Obviously we're on Friday the 25th of May today, so it's absolute chaos at the moment with everyone asking questions and panicking a bit, but hopefully within a few days it'll calm down, and of course we'll have a clearer picture. So without further ado, I just want to go through a few things with you. Obviously it's only my voice at the moment, but I'll show you a few things on Kerridge in a minute or two. Privacy policies. I dropped an email to the brand managers and the after-sales managers yesterday about printing out versions of these. There's an Inchcape version that I sent over yesterday, and there's also a Volkswagen version which is going to be put on the hub or desktop in the next couple of days, possibly today if you just want to check. Get it printed out, get a copy where the customers can see it, near where they have a coffee, possibly near the desk, wherever you feel necessary. That's the first thing I would do. And now I want to talk about job card variations. So there has been a bit of a confusion with job cards. Some of you use RTC job cards through their iPad. Some of you use the physical paper job cards. Whichever version you use, you need to ensure that you are using a disclaimer with the customer. So on some of the job cards that I've seen, for instance, I'm at Bolton today, some of them have a disclaimer at the bottom asking customers to opt into email, phone, SMS, etc. If you don't have that disclaimer, you must show the customer the document you should see on your screen now. So all it is a disclaimer, and what they do, they circle email, SMS, post or phone. Ideally, you want them to fill that in themselves and sign it. And what that needs to happen is that needs to be moved across to Kerridge. Really, really important. Ideally on the day of the interaction with the customer. If they want further information about our privacy policy, they can of course read it while they're in the centre, because you've got a physical copy of that. Or of course you can pass them to the privacy policy statement on our website. So that's the first change. Now again, you guys need to decide what your job card's like. Is it the RTC one? Is it the physical one with the DPA on it? Because if it has got the disclaimer on it at the bottom, you don't need to print out this additional piece of paper and get the customer to fill it in. You just fill in the job card. If you want to change your job card, you just need to contact IT support, who will basically update your Kerridge print process and basically get you the new job card automatically printed out. Some sites have done that. There probably will be a delay with it, so I would call them rather than email them and get them to change it. But of course, you can copy me into any communication you have with them if necessary, and I can follow that up for you. So what I want to talk about now is obviously how to update Kerridge. Now this is really, really straightforward, but a necessity, a really, really important aspect to it, because you guys have the biggest part to play in quickly updating our customers back into being able to get marketing materials. So I'm going to quickly go into Kerridge now. I'm going to go and find a random record. Let me just bear with me while I do this. I'll load up myself. And on the customer record, while it loads up, you have a little tab called data protection. I'm circling this now with my mouse. And if you click on that, what you should find normally is 4 channels of communication: SMS, post, email, and phone. And this is where you need to change these from denied to agreed. Now, all of your customers, as of yesterday, are all set to denied. So once you get interacting with them and you ask them to opt in when they're in the showroom, if you to go into this record and update this from denied to agreed. And the way you do that, you click on edit at the top, you go back into data protection, and you simply just change it from denied to agreed. It's as easy as that. Once you do that, you click on save, and that is now stored on the customer record. And anyone who obviously accesses that customer record from here on in is able to use those preferences accordingly. That is the only change you need to do. And obviously that goes off whether you're using the job card to get that information, or you're using the additional piece of paper that I will obviously send over to you again. As I say, that normally links through point of sale as well. I'm not actually in point of sale now, but you'll have a little icon at the top in point of sale, as like a little human face. If you click on that, it will take you directly into the customer record. If any of your staff are unsure about this, don't hesitate to give me a call and I will run through it with them live on screen as normal. So that's the majority of the discussion I wanted to say. Also, I want to talk a little bit about body shop and parts departments. Now, obviously, I don't think we send any marketing material out through body shop or through parts, but it's certainly worthwhile you passing this video onto your teams within those departments. It doesn't hurt for them to be aware of what happens. In the future, if you do start collecting information off customers, again, it needs to be run by and checked with the additional sheet, and obviously they can fill that in and agree to whichever method they want to be contacted by. Really, really important. The final bit I want to discuss, and then I'm practically done, is POLK. So POLK is obviously a brand system that we use to generate MOT and service reminders, brake fluid, cam belt, etc. We need to cross-check anything we pull out of POLK through Kerridge. That's a given. That is a legal obligation to do that. At the moment, we have stopped any outbound calls via POLK through the contact centre, and hopefully that will change in the near future. But we're trying to be as covered as possible for the time being. If you have your own login to POLK and you pull your own information from POLK, do not communicate to that customer offering them particular offers on cam belt or brake fluid or aircon. What we have at the moment is a legitimate interest, so it's not necessarily been covered properly. There's still a grey area with some of this, but obviously a lot of the sites do text messages, and what we have to do in probably the next week or so is get those text messages revamped and redesigned, where we're not offering customers any offers. We're just basically saying your MOT is due or your brake fluid is due, and giving them a number to ring and an opt-out option if necessary. And again, I think Ans Jemison will be updating the emails communications as well that is generated through POLK. Again, if you've got any questions, any concerns about that, don't hesitate to give me a call or an email. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say really. And I say once again, apologies for the issues with the video link earlier. Hopefully this is a bit more clearer and it's understood. But yeah, just drop me a line if need be.